Welcome, our future listeners, our present listeners, to what I call one of our most memorable and what will be our most memorable episodes. This is the House of Stone show, and I do have my guest with me here to my right, who is also my brother and will also be a really frequent guest. Today, we have to talk about a very important, very divisive topic.
Yes, indeed.
And I felt the need to put away all other topics that we had planned for today to talk about this because I can't stop thinking about this case. I can't stop. I'm eating, sleeping, dreaming, and walking this case. So we have to talk about it in so many different angles. Just to give you guys a synopsis and a little bit of brief summary, if I can quote the LA Times, we're talking about the O.J. Simpson case, and for those of you guys who aren't up to speed on this, trust me, I wasn't. Growing up, I never really cared for it. It was so big, I didn't want to get into it, but now I'm all in. But just a little background, Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman were fatally stabbed on the evening of June 12, 1994, and their bodies were discovered early the next morning. O.J. Simpson, who was her ex-husband, was acquitted October 3rd, 1995, of their deaths in a trial that riveted the nation and divided many along racial lines. So in 1997, he was ordered to pay more than $33 million for wrongful deaths. He's now serving a prison sentence in Nevada for kidnapping, robbery, burglary, assault with a deadly weapon, and a bunch of other charges for trying to obtain memorabilia that he swears was his, clearly probably was. And then on March 4th, 2016, it was reported that, the LA police are now investigating and testing a knife that was recovered on a property once owned by O.J. Simpson. They've turned it over to the police officer for a number of years ago by a person working construction there. So the first question that I would pose to my brother right next to me is, let's talk about what got us intrigued to the O.J. case. The documentary, obviously, the 30 for 30. First, before we dive into it, let me just pose a question to you. Ezra Ellerman, who directed it, did he do a good job?
I think he did a perfect job. I mean, if you think about it, that's the only documentary that has ever come on the OJ thing that has had everyone talking. There have been numerous documentaries on this stuff. I think ESPN they sort of touched on this a little bit.
Yeah.
And they had the FX show, and it was a big deal, but it's not this sort of big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And considering that it was 7.5 hours, 5 parts, each of them by about an hour and a half or so, and everyone still watched every single minute of it and is talking extensively about it. And I mean Ezra, he killed it. That's all you can really say. He killed it with that documentary.
Well done by him. And without further ado, let's get to the big question that will lead to so many different angles. And I'm just hoping that people can keep up. So I will pose this question to you, and you can take it in any direction you want. Do you believe that O.J. Simpson murdered his wife and Ron Goldman? Boom. Take it. Take it.
This is literally the $33 million question, I guess you can say. But
first, hit me with the one-word answer, and then take it however you want. Or two, maybe.
If I can say, I don't know if I can say I don't know in one word. That's the thing. So, I will say.
What's your heart saying?
My heart's saying no, but with the asterisk to it.
Okay.
Because there are too many questions. There are too many questions that sort of go along with that no. And it's just saying, I can. The thing about it is that people have to understand is I can easily say yes to, and I'll still put an asterisk there. It would be the same asterisk. The questions that I have with regards to the case muddy this whole thing. So, but if you ask me, my gut says no.
Okay.
My gut says no.
Why do you think so? Throw me the first bone before I begin to split into every single reason that you give. Because for every reason that you would defend, someone is ready to attack and give facts to definitely dumb down on what you say. So throw the first bone out there, and then I definitely will try to play devil's advocate or somehow try to give the other perspective and see how you play it.
Well, the first thing, we should probably establish this off the bat. Nobody except OJ and God, if you believe in God, and Nicole, her soul and everything, and who knows what really happened. Nobody else really knows. Even the people who are investigating the damn thing, nobody knows what really happened. So at the end of the day, we can all throw out allegations, but no one really knows what happened. I will say this: there are a lot of question marks. First of all, I think I know we've talked about this before, and that's one of the reasons why we're excited about talking about it. But one of the main things that really threw a lot of doubt into me thinking whether he did or not is the way the murder was carried out.
Yes, you talked about that extensively with me.
OJ, I mean, in some ways you can see he was not totally in there. And we might talk about the CTA stuff and all that kind of stuff. There are probably a lot of questions as to why he acted, and he says a lot of things he says that are really questionable when you think about it. But the way those murders were done, they were so gruesome that the first time I saw, they basically slashed open, I think, both of their necks, and they were stabbed so many times. And I was thinking, like, man, that doesn't seem like a normal murder to me.
Well, what do you say to people who say he's an athlete, he's strong, he has rage, and he's proven through video records of him having rages and outbursts, there've been countless domestic violence disputes cases against him. How do you say to someone maybe he just went off and blacked out?
That's why I say there's a question. That's why someone can easily refute my point, right? Just the same way I can also refute someone else's point. At the end of the day, we're all speculating. But the thing is, I can only go off of what my gut thinks, right? And someone else will go off of what their gut thinks. But my gut tells me that kind of murder, like, to me, I guess I can only speak anecdotally, but I not have killed someone before, but I just imagine
you're used to seeing regular type of murders, a little stab here and there. Yeah. What was it? Are we doing comparative murders?
Yeah, like it feels like if he had a gun or something, he shot, but you take a knife, you start. Maybe they say it Nicole got killed first, right? You killed Nicole, who he said, and clearly you could tell he was crazy over Nicole. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, almost clinically obsessed.
He'd probably. I just feel like personally, even if you were really off your rockers a little bit, you'd probably snap out of it. By the time you probably like maybe stab her the first time or hit her off. Not that you would hit someone and then slash her neck and then stab her a couple times or whatever order it came through, whatever order it went through. I think he had beaten Nicole a lot of times, but it had never gotten to the point where, he just went off and decided to kill it. So to me, it's just more something that I just can't fathom that he was crazy, but I don't fathom he was crazy enough to the point where he would just go all out on two people.
Okay, like that. You are talking about you're giving a perspective on on humans and what defines what you're almost classifying like murders, and you feel like normal people can't do certain things that crazy people can't do. And in this case, you're talking about murdering, and you're saying, okay, OJ to you is a normal person.
No, I did not say that.
Oh, okay, well, you didn't say that, but you're insinuating that, listen, it takes a contracted killer to do the kind of murders that he did, or a psychopath.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it takes someone who's off their rocker, who probably enjoys killing. The person would have to enjoy killing to a certain level.
Okay.
It would take a special kind of person.
Okay.
Like a hired hitman, a mafia, or like just someone who's way off their rockers to perform that sort of double murder. Not just one murder, double. Almost exactly the same way. That seemed more like a hit. That didn't seem like a normal kind of murder to me. So that's why I don't even feel, to be honest, I'm not, OJ is a smart man. Like, you hear the way he talks, you could tell he's someone who he collect himself, the way he talked and stuff like that. He seemed like he was someone to collect himself, but I don't even think he has a capacity. I'll just say his capacity is beyond just doing that kind of murder.
Okay, I will give you a similar situation. Jodi Arias, who was convicted of murdering her ex-boyfriend at the time, and who was fighting. She was trying to fight the charge off. She didn't believe that she did it in her head. She obviously was found guilty and sentenced to life, I believe. And she committed some gruesome murders. She's a small woman. If you saw her in the street, you would go, man, she didn't have the capacity to do that.
Yeah, but
she did it. It was gruesome. She stabbed her boyfriend multiple times. Even after he was dead, she kept stabbing. That's a small girl. We're talking about O.J. Simpson.
She was probably crazy. She was probably crazy.
It's so. Are you denying the notion that O.J. could have been crazy?
See, that's the point where we have to talk about, okay, whether, CTE and stuff.
CTE,
that,
okay.
At that point, that's where something like that will come into play.
Mm-hmm.
But still, we have enough. I don't know anything. I mean, I know about the trial you talk about Jodi Arias, but I don't know enough about it. It's not like she has all the clips and stuff like OJ does. I can only base off of what I've seen with OJ and the way his friends talk about him. And even the stuff that they used to say that were wild, the stuff that they were saying he used to say that was just ridiculous. I can only base off of that huge collection of stuff that we have on him, on videos and audio and things he has said, things that people have said he said. And I'll say, okay, I can make an informed judgment personally that I don't really think, based off that, I don't think he did. Jodi Arias, I don't know what the hell we don't know anything about her.
Yeah.
She was probably a crazy, excuse my language, she was probably a crazy bitch behind the scenes that we just don't know. So, I can't really make a judgment on that. I don't really know anything about Jodi Arias. But based on OJ, I don't think he could have done those murders in that way. I may be wrong, but I think I'm right.
So if I can tell you've done extensive research on your own to kind of put two and two together like 80 other billion people have done. Yeah. Who do you think did it? That's the mystery question. And obviously your answer is not some FBI COVID, something like...
Well, that's the other thing too. Like, he may not have done it, but he may have been involved in it. Right?
You think?
So it's very, very, very possible that he hired someone to do it. The other thing too, which I guess I don't know what we're talking about, but I guess I'm just saying now. There's something that I've been reading a lot about, with regards to the fact, which I wish Ezra talked on, because Ezra, the only qualm I have with regards to the thing that the documentary Ezra did is that he seemed to be one-sided.
We're getting to that. I have beef. I have beef with him. I have a personal beef with him and his portrayal of this documentary. I got a rant coming for that.
Yeah. So I mean, he definitely, compared to all the other documentaries, he was a little more like on the center.
This was very biased. I don't care.
No. He was compared to other documentaries, he was more in the center. He was on this. He tried his, but he was on the center compared to other ones.
It was subtle, but it was there. Yeah, it was subtle, but it was there. He couldn't hide it. He tried to hide it.
It was subtle.
Yeah.
It was definitely subtle. But we'll talk.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
But I think the one thing he did not hit on, for all the things he went in depth on. I wish he had went in depth on the thing about Nicole and the mafia. Apparently, they say she did a lot of drugs. And there's a lot of like, if you're going to read up and stuff like that, by the fact that she was owing money to mafia and stuff and so it could have been that.
Yeah.
It could have been that OJ hired someone. Maybe they say he was a very jealous person. Maybe he went on one of those rages and hired someone to do it. Maybe he did it himself, because the problem is, the thing that I can't explain is the thing about the thing here where he had the injured broken finger. He had the broken finger, and he had 3 different stories.
Come on,
as to what happened. So
his friend said they're at a party.
That's what makes it.
OJ is saying one. I fell. The next one, the stairs. I hit it. I jammed my. Listen, that's when what, people start to change stuff.
That's what makes it tough.
If I'm innocent, and there's a little bit of evidence, like I broke my finger, I'm telling the same story everywhere.
I agree.
Hey, I hope you noted down what I told you. I broke this finger where? Where did I say I broke it? Car, good. Next person. Where did I say car? Good. We're on the same page. No. He's given 4 different stories.
No, I agree.
What's that about?
I totally agree. I mean, that's the part that's hard to defend. Like, especially when you piece that along with the fact that he had recorded domestic abuse issues with his wife. It's really tough. It's tough to defend. But piecing along with what I said before, that I just don't think he was capable of doing that kind of murder to that extent. Like, I don't want to say he's not smart, but I'm not going to give him the credit to, like, say he did that kind of like, he was capable of doing that kind of murder. So piecing that along with that, I think that maybe he hired someone to do it for whatever reasons that we don't know. Maybe the mafia came and did it like they said.
Wanted their money back?
Maybe she was owing them. They say she was owing a lot of money to the mafia. She was doing a lot of drugs.
And she was doing a lot of drugs. She was a drug addict. Yeah.
They didn't talk on.
No, of course. Why would he? Why would he? It would make people lean towards OJ. Why would he?
Yeah, they didn't talk in the country, but that's very possible. And that kind of murder seems like kind of murder a mafia would do.
Yeah.
Where they would just I mean,
And-
ravage your body,
and-
just absolutely just destroy you.
And I just want to